Welcome back to the Premonition series. The first video in this series introduced the model and explained the major assembly. That's key context if you haven't checked it out. In later videos, I explain detail for the cockpit, ship core, and nacelles. Today, I'll explain the last of the major components, Premonition's engines and wings. We'll be constructing them step by step. All right, let's build. Let's start in on the engine, and the engine's going to have three main sub-assemblies, the first of which begins with this component. So there's a 2x3 plate here in dark tan, a 2x2, 1x2 plate underneath it, a grill tile up on top. And then off the front of this are four of these round plates with bars attached, two of them with studs up, and then two of them with studs down. And that's then going into these stacked 1x2 round plates that have holes in them. And the reason for this is that later we're going to bring in a tapered section to the rear of the engine, and it will come out at a very subtle angle, and this is going to give us that connection into the back. The studs on these lower set of the round plates with the bar obviously are not attached to anything yet, but we'll solve that in just a little bit and cinch that all up. So we start with this component, and to this we're going to add this one. So this is a stack of plates here at the bottom. It's two of these two plate high 1x1s into some curved slopes, and those curved slopes are on top of coming down. There's a tile. There's a 2x2 plate. There's also a brick with Technic brick with axle hole, and into that is this element. This is from I think from a Batman set way back when, and I've been waiting and waiting to do something with this, and this turned out to be the exact perfect solution for the geometry I'll show here in just a minute. I'm so happy that I tripped over this in the way it's used, because I'm going to use all of the connection points to do something I couldn't figure out otherwise. And for now, one of those bars are going to go into this Technic axle hole. And then this unit will come up on top of this other one. So we'll connect this like so. Now into this are going to come these sub-assemblies. So there's if I just pull this open, so there's a 1x2 panel here in white. It has a headlight brick underneath it. And then that's going to rest on top of a 2x2 corner plate that above it has a curved slope, and below it has a 1x1 double high plate, a 1x2 plate, and a panel, a 1x1 panel. So when I put this back together, so the reason why and so this other 1x2 panel is going to come up on top here. And the headlight brick, the front of that, the stud here is not quite flush. So in order to have a receptacle for that, that's why I've got this, if they can catch the light properly, that's why there's a 1x1 panel here. It's giving an opening for this to sit inside. Because what I really need is the back connection here into this panel. Okay, so you have two of these, and then that's going to come in on this sub-assembly. Now with the back of the headlight brick into each of these studs, which are exposed on the side of this silver element. And then this sub-assembly, oops, let me just make sure I get this. I'm really happy with the way this works. So this is resting on top of the tile flat surface. It now has an exactly one plate gap between these two segments, which is what I needed, because it's going to eventually take a two stud wide assembly here in the channel, which is going to be held in place with the rest of that bar, which is coming up through the gap from that special element. So let's move to that piece. So this is pop this open. So it's a 2x2 plate here in black with a hole extension on the side, and that hole extension then into that is an inverted jumper plate. And the jumper plates, that's important because I need the receptacle into that open stud here just a moment to go on top of that bar element. There's a 1x2 tile that I've put a decal onto, and a couple of round tiles here for shaping. That's going into this inverted 1x1 to 1x2 bracket. In orange, it's got some round plates, an open a round plate with an open stud into a flick missile here that's going to connect into part of the main body in just a bit. And then that's a jumper plate underneath, and then a 1x2 plate. So we put this little module back together. And then this will then connect in for now on into this bit of bar and sit in that channel. I'm really happy with the way that is working. I think it's quite good. Now the next bit to add on is this, and so there's two. If I pop this off. 2 bits of 1x1. It's a 1x1 bracket. This is into a headlight brick with a skate on the front. There's a curved slope on top and a 1x1 brick with side stud on the back. And with 2 of these, and they're sitting up underneath this hinge brick, which then is going to a 1x2 to 1x2 bracket that's inverted, and a round 1x2 plate. So as I attach this back up, then I'll talk about the reason why we've done this. So this is going to come and cap the bottom, and so I've got hence I've got a stud reversal and this element that's going to come down on both sides here. When I do that, I originally had some issue where these side elements were kind of pivoting in and out. And then I changed to have this brick with a side stud. It's a hollow stud, and so it's exactly 1/2 plate. And so then this is then holding the perfect half plate gap here for this bit on the bottom. And so all of this then will just come in up under here and complete in a nice flush way the black that's running up and around. Okay, so it looks like this. Okay. The next element to bring in is this subassembly. So this is 3 1x2 bricks that are hollow. And this is a satin trans light blue. This is going to look like the back of the thruster. There are of the engine. That's going into some jumpers, 1x3 to 2 stud jumpers, 2 of those, a round 2x2 plate, a normal 2x2 plate, and then 2 of these inverted 1x2 to 1x2 brackets here in dark blue. And so this element will come up underneath here. And that's going to give us a stud reversal that we're going to use here. In addition to putting the engine in the right spot, it's going to give us a stud reversal we're going to use here in just a minute. The next bit then to cover this is going to be the top of the engine, and that is now all in sand blue. There's a 2x3 tile, and into that are 6 of these rounded slopes in sand blue, and then over here is a 1x1 brick, a 1x2 plate, a 1x1 tile, and that's going to form a kind of inverse latch here in just a moment to help hold the bottom in just the right spot. So this element then comes up on the top of that engine insert, and so it picks up those 2 studs there. So we get now the white blocking flows in, down, around, and then into the sand blue back. And for this component of the engine, the final bit of this is the bottom. And so that is a 2x3 tile in sand blue. It's tacked in with a 2x2 plate into 2 curved slopes in white. There's a tile on top of that. And then over on this side, there's the same thing that I had on the previous piece, a 1x1 brick, 1x2 plate, 1x1 tile. And then on this side, it's just it's a 2 bricks, a 1x1 and a 1x2. And so this will then, we'll pop this off. Oops, not the entire thing. I'll pop off this little bit. And I'm going to latch this here. Trap that underneath that stud. And then we're going to connect this in on these 3 studs. Get everything latched up. Nice and tight, and just so. Okay, so this is the back of the engine. Now let's move on to the first of the sides. And that starts with this unit, this component. So this is a 1x8 plate here in black. Underneath it are two 2x3 plates in blay. Underneath that, I've got a round plate, a normal 1x1 plate, and then there's this brick with 4 side studs that has on top of it 2 rounded 1x2 plates. And this brick with side studs, this is going to be the connection now into the back of the engine, that section we just built. Here there's some just on kind of the outer bit of the skin of the engine. There's tacked on a tile and a rounded slope. Into this are going to be 3 of these rounded slopes in black, a handset in light blay, and a clip here in sand blue. In this case, the clip itself is not going to attach. It's going to be floating, but it's floating in the channel above a stud. And these 3 are going to come in like this. Give a bit of texture and color interest to the side of the engine. The next piece is this one. And let's see, there's kind of a lot happening here. So there's a 1x4 plate here in dark red. And then into that are 2 brackets, a 1x1 to a 1x2, and a 1x2 to 2x2 bracket are sitting into the side of that plate. And then the bottom of that bracket is holding 2, actually we can probably just take this off. There we go. I think this will be simpler. So the bottom of that bracket then is holding 1, 2 of these curved slopes. There's a 2x2 plate here in sand blue, which then is holding a third of the curved slopes. And then popped into the back of that is one of these half circle jumpers. That's going to give a nice, I like the texture of that, the way that looks on the side. So into that is this unit. So there's a 2x2 plate here in the sand blue, another curved slope here in black on top of that. And then underneath that is one of those jumped half circles. And then that is just tapped. Then that has a 1x2 round plate and a just straight up tile sitting underneath it. So this unit will come in and connect here on this stud into the back of that curved slope. So it looks like this. And the reason it's going to set up this way is I wanted to get the look of the reveal here for these half circles. In order to do that, I needed the jumped ones, which are then going into the back of those 2x2 plates. But the last of those kind of reveals are not a jumper, it's just the tile, and so it's tacked in like so. So we get across the top just it looks like the 2 kind of nice 2 stud wide plates. Okay. So this element then will come in here along the top. And so we'll connect in on 5 studs. And ta-da, looks like that. The next bit here is 2 parts, and both of them have these side rotation plate hinges. So this one's side rotation plate hinge, I've cracked it open. It's half black, half white. On the white side, there is a 1x4 plate, a 1x2 plate, and then a brick with side studs here, just popped in underneath that, and that brick with side studs has a triangular tile on it. This is going to be kind of into the nacelle. The back half, which is then going into the engine extension, carries into a 2x3 plate. There's a corner plate underneath it. Above it is another corner plate here in black, a 2x2 plate and a tile. And there's finally a headlight brick, if I can catch the light properly, underneath that to get the stud going the other direction. The bit that's going to cap on top of that has two stacked of those plate side rotation hinges. Again, half white, half black. They're capped on the white side with a 1x4 tile. It goes into two of the baby D snot elements, which are there to position a tile, a 1x3 tile on the outside in just the right spot. There's a 1x1 tile here on this side. So we're going to just put these two elements on top of one another and cinch it up. So it looks like this, and now you can see this can move to give this an angle. And then this element, this subunit is going to then fit in on top of, into this one. And if I just remember how we're going to do that. Yes. So that's going to come in from the side. So there's a 1x2 here, part of this corner plate that will connect in. And that looks like this. Next up we're going to finish up the outside of this. And so there's a 1x3 rounds plate, 2x3 tile, 1x3 tile. So just sort of the skin for the outside of that. Then there's a bracket, 1x2 to 2x2 bracket. I've got a couple of round plates here in orange, tacked on top. The bottom bit of the curved slopes, two of those, 1x1 plate. And this will come in here and finish out that bottom curved edge. Finally, for this subunit, there's a 1x6 plate into an inverted 1x3 tile. We picked up a round plate with a bar and a couple of round 1x1s. And this will this will sit on that this edge and just cinch everything up here. This turns out to be the bottom edge of the engine side. Okay, so there's this unit. Okay, and then the third and final unit for the engine starts with this. So this bit of unit is both for the engine and it's the connection into the center frame from the nacelle. So it's going to look a little bit different than the last one. And it starts with here in the center is another one of those side rotation plate hinges. That's into a 1x4 plate, 1x3 plate, a round plate, and there's a 1x4 here in blue, 1x4 brick with 4 side studs. So you can feel something's coming for strength over here on this side. On this side, this is a mirror image of what we had just done. So a 2x3 plate here with a in black, with a 2x2 corner plate in gray and one in black above it, 2x2 plate, 1x2 tile, and then again to get the stud going the other direction, if I can catch the light, a headlight brick. To that, we're going to connect this unit. This is a 1x8 plate here in light blue, 1x6 in red. There's I like this new element, so for strength, the 3x3 corner plate here in white, and then being carried over on plate and tile to 2 of these stacked side rotation hinges and a tile. So this is I'm going to connect these 2 units on top of one another with where the side rotation hinges line up. Looks like this. The next unit, now we're into the section which is going to be in the core the frame. So this is all built out for, definitely built out for strength. And let me just pop this open while I'm trying to remember where everything goes. So there's a 2x6 plate here in white that's stacked on top of another 2x6 in white. Over on this side is a 1x3 plate, a 1x1 and a 2x2 corner plate carried around with this grill tile. There's a light blade plate behind that 2x2 plate here in white. That's then the on that side. Over here, there's a 2x4 plate underneath it, a couple of the inverted tiles, and then that's into, if this catches the light properly, one of those 1x2 to 2x2 brackets and a grill tile. And into this is going to go 3 of those brackets that are then tacked together underneath with these stacked 1x6 plates and an ingot. Okay, this is so now using all of those brackets, this is very, very strong. And this element's going to come in over here. And I just need to remember where it goes. I think it is like this, up on top of the red. We'll find out later. I might change it if I did this wrong. I think this looks correct to me. Okay. The next bit here are a in black 1x2 to 2x2 bracket, a couple of round plates, a couple of rounded curved slopes, and now we're going to start working the side of that engine. So that's going to need to come in here, probably like this. Yeah, perfect. Connects in like so. Then we've got this is a mirror image of what I did on the other side. There's a 1x8 plate, 2x3 plate with a couple of rounded slopes here, round plate in the back, and then connecting in here, 1x4 plate in dark red, the 2 brackets, 1x1 to 1x2, 1x2 to 2x2 bracket, and then carrying into on this side, it's a 1x2 plate and one of those jumped half round in light play, and then it finished off with the curved slopes here on the outside. Okay, so this is going to come in on these 3 studs here from the brackets into the back. So it looks like so. Then we have a 2x3 plate here in light blue. On this side are 2 round slopes hung off. On this other side is a 1x2 plate, and I need that because it has the center receptacle for the this half round jumper. Then a 2x2 corner plate, again to get the center receptacle for that jumper in sand blue. Those are then tacked in the last of the curved slopes here with the decals on them. And to the back of that 2x3 plate then is a brick with 4 side studs and 2 1x2s. They're tapped on top of one another. And so this unit then will connect in like this. Okay. And then with this will now be the bottom edge, and we're going to cinch this up with this unit. So it's a 1x8 plate, 1x6 plate, 1x3 inverted tile plate with a bar, and a couple of round 1x1s. And this will then come in along this bottom edge. And then finally now this outside is going to just get covered in through a skin of tiles. So 2x3, 1x3, 2x3, 1x3, 2x3. Okay, so that's now this completed element. All right, let's complete the engine. And to do that, we're going to hook this into the nacelle that I made earlier. and I'm going to drop the jack stand underneath the nacelle to support this while we put the engine on. And the first bit of the engine to go on is going to be this outer edge here. And this is going to come in on this side across these studs, the 4 studs up in here to start with. So we'll open it back up and drop this in. Perfect. Okay, and so that's giving us this nice strong support, but a bunch of other things are going to latch in around here later when the ship comes together. But for now, this, and then we can tilt that in slightly. The opposite side now we can also attach, and that for now will sit on the 2 studs here. And that goes into this, into a channel back up inside of here. Like this. And then again, I can tilt this slightly. Now we're getting this taper down. Which leaves then connecting the engine itself back into that. And so then this unit, we're going to use the connection off of these plates to get that angle, as well as bring this bar here along the top to connect back in above all these greebly bits. So a little bit delicate to get this right. Good. All right. So here is the completed engine section. Now on the back of the nacelle. Oh, I should point out, down from below, there's the bit here where we have the round plates. Now that's kind of zippered or interlocked in. That's also turned out to be a pretty good look. Let's make a wing, and to do that we'll start with this big long component of mini brackets. So this is going to be one of the outer edge of the wing, and it is effectively a series of bricks and plates to get brackets almost entirely along this edge. Some are normal brackets, some are inverted. There's 2 long and 1 long brackets. And they're alternated from time to time with bits of where the studs are skipped. There are headlights with a tile, and that's because the bit that's going to fit into this is all jumped, and where 2 plates come together, I needed a spacer. And so there's 2 of those there. Interspersed inside all of that is a bit of color blocking here with this gradient change of color from orange into yellow. To match something else I'm doing elsewhere on the ship. And then occasionally at 90 degrees, there are brackets off the back as well, which will end up being off the bottom, I suppose. At the end here is a clip, and the back and the bottom is an inverted bracket, which leads to a round plate and a half round tile. Okay, so we'll begin to build on top of this. And the first thing will be a 2 by 6 wedge plate. Extended off, that's a 1 by 2 round with a 1 by 1 round, and ingot several of these bow slopes, which are sitting on top of a 1 by 3 plate. And this will come off of these 3 studs here. Like so. The next bit to connect is this one, and I will temporarily pop this off. So this is also a series tile, 2 high, 2 plate high brick, a couple of 1 by 1 to 1 by 1 brackets, another brick, and then this is a brick with two 90-degree opposed side studs. Normal brick, bracket into a bow, and then a couple of more of those two plate high spacers, and another bracket. Into one of the open holes here on top is a mechanical claw to bar holder, and then and then that leads to a bar, which is through the center of an axle of a pin joiner, with two round plates on each side that have holes. And I cut this bar actually to make it just perfectly the right length, but you could do this with a 4-long bar, I think, and it's going to be perfectly fine. But I wanted it to be just exact, so I don't pay attention to what I did. It's crazy. So I'm going to connect this in to here with the other remaining side stud. It's going to come into the back of this headlight brick, and this unit will slide up. Okay. And then for these kind of two long runs of bricks, there's a point at which the studs are going in two different directions, but there's overlap here in these brackets, and we will cinch that together using a bow with a plate with a clip underneath it. And so that will come across like this. The next bit here is another 2x6 wedge plate and a 4x2 wedge plate that comes into a sharp point. These are opposed. I wanted to play with getting texture of the bottom of the plates up on the top of the wing. So to do that inversion, there's an inkwell to a plate with a clip on it. And then over here, there's a round 1x4 and a couple of round 1x2 with hole. And that's going to come in underneath this bow, this curved bow. And the bottom of this gray clip, blade clip, is going to support the bottom of the black section here. And just keep it pinned in. And if we flip it over, you can see the texture starting to come together. And so now it's time to put the big edge here, and that is then to get the magenta color blocking across. And so there are a series of magenta plates and big white tiles across, which then cut in with a 45-degree slope here at the end. And this is jumped, and so we want everything to be off by half stud. And so here you can see also where I've cut through with the tiles where the plates come together. So we'll just cinch this together along the length, which is certainly making this section much stronger as well. All right, now we have the back edge to fill in. And that's a 1x3 tile with a jumper underneath. This is a jumper. And then and into that side of the jumper is a round plate with a bar on it, which will connect into this clip. And then the bottom of that clip is then up against these round plates. Okay, the next component is this, the final of the 2x6 wedge plates. And I need to get a cheese 30-degree slope on the end of that. So to do so, there is a 1x2, 1x1 brick. It's 5 plates tall with side studs. And then that's capped on one side with a tile. The other side is projecting out to get a couple of round plates. And then 2 inverted 1x1 to 1x1 brackets which then allow me to put the cheese slope in just the right position here in the end. And this unit, we'll connect this in just one moment. Before I can do that, I need this. So another set of the struts and connections to get the wing connected back up into the nacelle. So there's a 1x4 tile that's modified with 2 side studs here in belay. Up around the top are 2 45-degree slopes with the bottoms cut out. Coming from the other direction, there's a jumped bracket, 1x2 to 1x2 that is inverted. And that's jumped into the bottom of this, as well as a round plate with a hole. Then into the bracket, there is a plate with a bar, and capped with a 1x1 here. That plate with the bar leads off to a mechanical claw, to a bar holder, to another claw. And going the other direction, for spacing, there's a 1x2 round plate. And then on the bottom of that bracket, there's a connection in for a mixel joint that's going, in this case, to an axle hole and then an axle joiner. So this unit will come in around and connect to the wing here. Like this. And so to give a sense of how this is going to be between, at least it's how it's going to be, the wing will be held. And that also now gives us a place to connect this last unit here on top. Now for this interior edge, that starts with this. So there's a, let me actually crack this. So there's a 1x1 to 1x2 bracket here in tan. Underneath that's an inverted 1x1 to 1x1 bracket, another inverted 1x1 to 1x1 bracket, and then projecting out is a brick and then a half round tile here in magenta. That's being carried into this unit. There's a brick with side stud, studs out this way, brick with side studs this direction, and then a headlight to get the stud receptacle going out this way to carry and connect into this bracket 1x1 to 1x2. And then the back of the bracket has for finishing, there's a quarter round tile on there. So this unit, let's see, how did I have this? Oh, okay, great. We'll come into the bracket like so. So what I'm concerned about is the top of it just needs to look like the continuous flow of tan down and around. Below, there's a bunch of things that are going to happen here with these brackets. From the top now, we have exactly the right connection to latch in one of these 53-degree slopes with studs on the edge. This one happens to be in tan, which is a rare color, but is available from some European sellers. And I've used some tile work here in magenta to carry the blocking around. Okay. So then this unit will connect in to this. So this is going to be the interior, sit on the interior edge of the wing. And so there's a 1x8, 1x8 and 1x6 long tiles here in white, and then carrying magenta underneath it. This part of it is jumped, so 3 jumpers. If the magenta double jumper was released, that would make me very happy, and I could remove this one gap, but I couldn't find any solution to not have some little gap in here without that other part existing. This is going to be carried up against the wing with 45-degree slopes with the bottoms cut out, which lead to a round plate with a hole here, and then projected out round plate with hole here on top of several round 1x2s. And then I'm using the round plate with the bar to connect in. So this will, I need to just place this temporarily. Make sure I understand where to put the other brick. Great, okay. So then to connect this segment, this unit into that piece of the wing edging, we'll use the top of this bracket and then this brick. And it will come in below here and there, which is very satisfying. And looks like this. And now this unit can be placed up underneath here. There are two places where we have brackets that are ready to receive that. Here and here, here and here. Drop that in. Cinch everything up. Okay, and when we turn this over, now we have the completed wing. So it looks like this. Let's attach this wing now to the nacelle that we created earlier. And I'm going to pop this off of the jack stand yet again. Okay. And so down from below into the nacelle, there are 3 points of attachment for this wing. There's a axle coming out here that will directly support the wing, and then 2 struts that come and help hold it at just the right angle. One is going to come into this hole here, into this baby D snot element, and one will attach back into this bar holder here in the back. And this is a bit finicky, so may take some finesse to get it in just the right spot. So let's see how it goes. So we'll start by moving this mechanical claw bit into the hole. And then the Technic axle. Oops. There we go. Now I'm going to pop off this element here from the wing and bring that back in a minute. Okay. So attempting little by little, get all of these support elements connected simultaneously. It's not simple. Okay, and bring this back. And sure this is in nice and snug where we need it to be. Okay, and voila, we have the connected wing. That completes construction for Premonition's engines and wings. With those finished, I've now built up all of the ship's major components. I have one thing left to show. In the next and final video, I'll put together the display stand. Thanks for watching. See you next time.